Welcome back to the channel, folks. So usually my videos are pretty lighthearted, but what I'm going to talk about is actually pretty disturbing and fucked up. So this is going to be one of those no nonsense videos. No jokes, no memes, just playing it straight and right to the point. I'm going to give this a viewer advisory because this video is going to be talking about some pretty tough subject matter. So if these topics upset you and you stop watching at any point during it, I understand. So I'm sure most of you know who stonetoss is. For those who aren't familiar with him, he's a webcomic artist whose webcomics include this. So yeah, he's not a good person. He's a fucking neo-Nazi. I can't really show you any of his comics that contain this content since I'm sure they violate YouTube's guidelines. And I'm not gonna risk it, but just Google it. You'll find them. Now, he's already scum of the earth, but recently he did something that really shows just how much of a monster he is. So what happened was that there was a 17-year-old transgender girl named Charlotte Fosgate who went missing for about a day. And her final post on Twitter was this: "She jumped and died. She killed herself." Now, this is a tragedy. Absolutely, this is a fucking tragedy. But what does this have to do with stonetoss? Well, a running joke in his comics is trans suicide. Yes, this guy thinks trans people killing themselves is a joke. And when he saw other deplorable people joking about it, he decided to make one of his comics joking about it. Let me repeat myself. A 17-year-old girl killed herself, and he turned it into a joke for one of his comics, just because she was trans. He made her final picture his Twitter banner, for goodness sakes. These kinds of far-right people like stonetoss, who always yell about morality and traditional values and how they need to protect the children, hear about a 17-year-old girl killing herself, and their response is to turn it into a sick and twisted punchline just because she's trans. And I just know these people are gonna say, "It's just edgy humor, dude." No. This isn't about edgy jokes or free speech or anything like that. That is deflecting the gravity of this situation, is that a teenager took their own life. And you all thought it was the funniest thing you ever saw. You wanna know why trans suicide is so appallingly high? Because of people like this. The discrimination, the rejection, the isolation, that pain just fills up inside them. And they think it's the only way to solve it. They just want to simply exist, to live their best life. But because they want to change their gender, so their body reflects how they feel on the inside, they are labeled degenerates, mentally insane, or trying to secretly indoctrinate people's kids. And people like stonetoss, they want nothing more than to wipe them off the face of the earth. They fucking salivate over it like rabid animals. All because of politics or religion or whatever bullshit excuse or lies they give to attempt to justify their hatred. They love claiming LGBT people in general are trying to groom kids, but they conveniently ignore all of the priests and far-right politicians who get exposed for doing the same thing. Now, thankfully, most people were calling stonetoss out for how terrible this was. And what happened to stonetoss after this? Well, he got doxxed. Now, I'm not gonna show his face or information because one, that's most definitely against YouTube's terms of service. Secondly, I myself don't even know if it's actually him. I'm pretty certain it is him, but even if I could show you the picture and address, I wouldn't, because I don't really agree with doxing, and I don't want to take the small chance of me doxing someone that wasn't him. Now, to wrap this up, the reason I'm talking about this is because I want people to be aware of how much of a monster this guy is, since I haven't seen a lot of people on YouTube talking about this. We already knew this guy sucks, like he's a fucking neo-Nazi, but this is just next level evil. You always had people defending him, saying he's just an edgelord making jokes, but this is genuinely evil. He's an evil monster who had the gall to act like he was the real victim in all this. He's a pathetic excuse of a human being. Dude's just short of being an actual demon. The other reason this whole story made me so upset is because even though I myself am not trans and never knew Charlotte, never met her, I met and made friends and acquaintances there in my life who are trans. And they are very nice people. Some of the best folk I ever met, and incredibly brave for going through what they have to go through every day and keeping their heads held high. Trans people have always been a thing ever since humanity began. And trans people will outlive scumbags like Stonetoss. Charlotte should still be alive. She was 17. For God's sake. She had her whole life ahead of her. It's nothing short of a tragedy. And it's not funny. Trans suicide is not funny. And I say this from the bottom of my heart. Trans rights. And as for you, Stonetoss, in the unlikely event you're watching this video, I hope that this always haunts you. That you never know a moment's peace for what you did. I hope people constantly remind you of your actions. And if there really is a hell, I hope you end up there, right next to your favorite failed painter. I'm sorry that this video was a serious and depressing one. I don't like making videos about stuff like this. I usually prefer to make videos on more lighthearted, ridiculous, and goofy stuff that happens on the internet, but I just felt compelled to talk about this. The next videos I make are going to be the regular content I make, so no need to worry about sad videos like this becoming a regular thing. Trust me, this is a rarity. This video was not fun to make at all. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say about this. See ya.